Alright. So, we got that one's done. We don't need cat. We don't need soul salvage. Okay. I think we did it, guys. I think we have all of Jumpstart. Now what we gotta do is wait for Zendikar Rising. I'm so glad that there's no historic set in the middle of everything. Oh man, I am. Wait. No. No! No! Hey everybody, and welcome to the Knowledge Pool, a think tank of games and magic. I know it's been a couple months since Jumpstart, but I had an amazing time while it was playing. The cards were a breath of fresh air in Historic, and the gameplay was amazing. I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10, incredible fun. I would give it a perfect score, but Now, it's probably not a surprise by now that WotC puts out these events that are gold or gem sinks in order to have us spend money prior to a set release. Things that they know the average player would and will spend their money on. There were many different packs of Jumpstart you could get, and each one had special lands and mythics and special individual land art for the collectors out there. It was also the only place that you could pick up the Planeswalker style lands, as every single other Planeswalker card was in the bundle that you bought if you bought it from the shop, except for the land. Yeah. This created a run for people to play as much Jumpstart as they possibly could before the event ended in a month. My personal goal was to play at least until I had all 5 Planeswalker lands. And I succeeded. Not only did I succeed, but because of the way RNG fell, I also managed to get at least one copy of every rare and every mythic, and I had a blast. It was great. It was really great. Now, I bet a lot of you are wondering, Dish, how much money did you sink into this in order to achieve your goal? To tell you the truth, I almost gave up. I had stopped getting rares and mythics that I needed from other things in any semblance of good games before I finally got the Bassery deck to complete my collection. The games were starting to get kind of samey, and there were clear contenders for good combinations after you'd played as much as I played. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The ups, the downs, the pros, the cons, and the cost of Jumpstart. So grab yourself a nice mochaccino and tell your secretary to move all your appointments to 3 o'clock, because we're dipping into the troubling waters of finance. I think the best place to start is to talk about the event itself. Jumpstart events went like this. You paid in your entry fee, either 400 gems or 2,000 gold. And then you would get to pick one of 3 randomized packs of Jumpstart. And you got to see which pack of Jumpstart you were picking by the title of that Jumpstart pack. Then, after picking that, you would be randomized 3 more packs to pick one of in order to complete your deck. Your deck was both of those packs put together and randomized together in order to make one cohesive deck. You played that deck against your opponent's deck, and if you won, you got a rare from Jumpstart. If you won a second time, you got a rare from Jumpstart. But you could play as much on this entry as you wanted. There was no loss that kicked you out, and even if you had won your 2 rares, you could keep playing even though you wouldn't win any more things. If you wanted to win more cards, because not only do you get to keep those rares you won, but you get to keep the packs that you picked, you just resign and pick it up again for another 400 gems or 2,000 gold and start the process over again and again. and again. Note that 400 gems or 2,000 gold is the equivalent of roughly $2 US. Whether you earn your golden gems through events, through quests, or just buying them from the store, WotC considers that amount $2 worth of work or money. So if you were trying to do what I was doing and you got very, very lucky, you could get it done in 3 plays, that's $6 US, and you'd be done and good. What are the chances of that happening? Sorry about that. So there's a hurdle that we haven't discussed. Jumpstart packs have a certain rarity to them. Some decks are considered common, and they show up more often in the selection process than the rare packs or the mythic packs, and all of the Planeswalker packs are mythic. Because of that, the chances of you getting a mythic pack and not a mythic pack that you've seen before raises the chances astronomically. So you're not likely to see the scenario I promised. There's also an issue of variance packs. For my personal goal, that wasn't an issue. But let's say your personal goal was to get 4 copies of Harvester of Souls, which was from the pack called Spooky. Spooky was a common pack, so it seems like it'd be pretty easy to get 4 copies of it, right? Wrong. Because unlike the mythic packs, which always gave you the same cards, the common pack had 4 variants, with different rares, uncommons, and commons in each build. So Spooky had 4 variants, and only one of them had Harvester in it. How would you know if you picked the right pack? You look at your deck and see if Harvester is in it. It was a total gamble on the rare packs and the common packs to see if your investment yielded fruit. This led to the biggest problem I had: diminishing returns. When I started, I had no Jumpstart cards except for the M21 cards that they put into the Arena version. So every pack I got was giving me something of worth, even if it was just a few commons and uncommons and a land variant. But the more I played, the more I faced these problems, and I kept getting pack after pack where I'd get nothing, even though I was only choosing packs that I was missing cards from. I played dogs over 7 times without getting the Isamaru variant, and I ended up winning 2 Isamarus through the event itself. But I guess my personal biggest problem was Basri. Basri, there's the rub. For in that pack of white, what lands may come when we have shuffled up our 40 cards must give us pause. Okay, but in seriousness, while waiting to get the Basri pack, I got all of the other mythic packs 4 times each. I completed my sets of Chandras, Lilies, Tefiris, and Garuks long before Big B came my way, along with a large portion of Jumpstart in total. So what's the price? Well, let's see. Through the course of the event, I spent 43,600 gems and 32,000 gold. Given the prices laid out, I played 109 games on gems and 16 games on gold, putting my total up to 125 games, or in US dollars, 250. I didn't spend that much though. But Dish, I hear you cry, math doesn't lie. It doesn't, but the system deceives. The upshot of all this mess is that you can earn gold and gems through other events on Arena. So while that seems like a lot of money to spend, over half of it was saved up through winning Ikoria sealed events, through winning M21 drafts, through playing historic queue over and over again, and through beating all of my daily quests every day and doing my at least 4 wins per day to get that gold. Mono Green was great in the historic queue at this point since Craterhoof was not had by everybody, and I just spammed it over and over and over again. In real money, I still spent a little more than I'm normally comfortable with. But even if I were spending the full $250, there is some consolation I can take home for my payment. If I had spent $250 on paper Jumpstart, it would have got me roughly 2.5 boxes, which would not have netted me one of every card, let alone as many cards as I got from playing through the event the way I did. Purchasing the top 10 cards from Jumpstart off a TCG player, I know, work with me here, would have costed me over $250 as well. Now, if I played a ton of Commander and wanted to sleeve up Jumpstart in paper, that would be different. But I don't, so it's not. What was worth it is I did not have to spend any wild cards to get the cards that I wanted from Jumpstart, and the amount of fun I had was already almost worth the cost as it is. I do hope in the future Wizards add something to recoup the cost. Maybe you can keep playing the deck, and if you get 5 to 7 wins, you get like 200 gems back. That way you would save something, with the downside being less time spent spamming the event. Maybe. Probably not. But at least I hit my goal. And for those of you who might not have reached your goal during this time, I hope it didn't sour things for you too badly. As you can see, it took a lot of money and or time to even get the goal that I wanted done. And I would never suggest to anyone to invest that kind of time and effort and money into the game unless they were very passionate about the game itself. This is what I tend to think about it though. Arena never lacks in opportunities to try again. If you didn't get a card you wanted this time, there will be another chance, either through making it with wild cards, the store potentially selling a limited offer, or simply the event returning. At any point you are willing to pay the cost associated with it, Wizards will give you another chance to pay that cost to get the item you want. And if you're never willing to pay that cost, that's okay too. You're probably saving yourself a ton of money and time not doing it. And at the end of the day, one Plains plays like any other Plains. It's you and me, puppers! Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it and you got something out of the math behind Jumpstart and formats like it for the future. Just to remind you, I have a Ko-fi and we are using it to raise money currently for the Commander budget upgrade. Link is in the description, and if you feel like giving, please know that it is met with my thanks and that it will only be used to help the channel grow. Also, you might have seen that I put out a new series called The Shallow End. It's a little bit of a podcast situation. If you watch those and you enjoy them, please give them a like, share them with friends, let people know that it exists. And if you want to be a guest on it and you have some kind of background, give me a holler on that email, intotheknowledgepool@gmail.com, and I'll give you a look and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I've been Dish, and everybody out of the pool. Come on, who's a good doggy?